working, is it? Yes.
Yep.
Indicates I have got original sound on. I'm going to mute everybody here at this point. Yes, hello Ross. We could see the top of your head before, but we can see you now. Right, so you're muted, though you can unmute yourself. Pressing the space bar unmutes you on a laptop or PC, which can be useful. So John's put together the programme for today, which I must admit, when I started to play through them, I went, ugh! There are a couple of tunes that where particularly the melody part is actually quite challenging. So remember that in general I can't hear you playing. So if we get to a bit and it's just not working for you, feel free to wave your hand in the air or unmute yourself and speak and say, can we do the B part at half the speed and things, because otherwise I don't really know what where you're up to.
Yeah, I made the mistake, Paul, of not playing through them myself before. I thought, we played that in the past.
Yes, they're not impossible. They're just a little bit more challenging than, more notes to the bar, I think, is the main problem. It's not that they're fundamentally hard to play, though we do go into flat keys and sharp keys and things, but it's that compared with the tune, the accompaniment for these things, some of them, the accompaniment has more notes than the tune, which is interesting. Right, anyway, to start with, we were going to start off with the usual playing some single part tunes, just to get our fingers going. What I'll do here, I might expect that people have actually hopefully printed off the tunes, particularly the ones that take a whole page, and got them where they can see them, because otherwise they're going to be a bit small on the screen. But for the moment, we could start off with playing each of these tunes, filling the screen, and then put them together as a set. So these are John's Celestial Jigs, the Zodiac, the Good Ship Sirius, and the Moon and Seven Stars. Moon and Seven Stars is well known. I don't know that either of the other two are well known, but the Zodiac's in my tune book, the Good Ship Sirius isn't at the moment. I have a criteria that says I don't put things in the tune book until I've come across them in two totally different environments, and so far this is the only one in which I've come across the Good Ship Sirius. But anyway, we'll see. Right, so let's just play this through. You get a lot of tune for your money, because you've got 4 parts, each of which is repeated. The second time bar is for going on to the next tune, so ignore that for the moment. Let's just play this one tune here. Right. So what should I play? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll play the last 4 bars of the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Will I? No, not like that. And again. Right, yes, particularly the second line is good practice for arpeggios. I mean, playing music is all about patterns. You know, once you've got one of those patterns into your fingers, or ideally, I suppose, two of them, one on the left-hand side and one on the right-hand side, then playing that second line becomes easier. It's only because I tend to play a lot of music staccato. But that second line, I don't think I can. It doesn't make sense staccato really. It's got to be smooth legato, and it's quite nice in a tune to have that contrast between the previous line is. You know, go all smooth and join together on the second line, certainly. Right, feel free to interrupt if you want, but otherwise I'll keep going. Right, so for this one, the first half does not repeat and the second half does repeat. So here's a you're going to get in essence the whole of a last line up to a second time bar, I think. Oh dear, no, let me stop there because I played that wrong the previous time as well. So that's what I do if I get something wrong. I just loop round a couple of bars until it's not only right, but my fingers, can't play it wrong because they know how it goes. Anyway, we'll try again, coming from the beginning of the B part, one note intro. Right, let's try that again. There are three of them, aren't there? Yes. repeat. From the beginning of that. Yes, I think the thing that was leading me astray there on that third line of it was the repeated, whatever it is, E. That one. I think originally I was playing, and it isn't. And that's the thing you should never do, is play the wrong thing once you've got it right. Right, I quite like the Good Ship series. Certainly if I was putting it in my tune book, I would make that E be an anacrusis at the beginning, and I think I would have the first section half the length but repeated, because really it's exactly the same notes other than the lead-in note. Anyway, Moon and Seven Stars is a very common session tune, in different keys and slightly different, but etc. Right, but we ought to try for the moment doing this at the same speed as we're doing the others. Again. Yes, I was trying to analyse my playing as I was going along. It's always dangerous because it takes your mind off what you're actually doing next. I generally play fairly staccato, and for a thing like a jig, which is really 2 triplet beats in the bar, on the whole I'm making a definite pause between the 2 and putting them in again. So interestingly, they say the 3rd bar of the bottom line, I'm not doing it as, I'm putting a break in the middle. But the exception is that next 2 bars are the bars 3 and 4 of the top line, where I'm definitely just doing it as, I'm playing the whole thing in one direction with no pauses at all. And it's just quite nice, I think, to, having put some pauses in other bars, or stresses in other bars, just to have an occasional bar that just runs smoothly all the way through. I'm still stressing the 4th note of each bar slightly, but not much at all. Right, so let's see if we can get this whole thing fitting on a line. That could be interesting. Hold on a minute while I get rid of those. F8, oops, and F9. So hopefully now I can get. Right, that's the whole thing fitting on a screen. I'm actually going to put it a bit bigger here next to me, so I can, if necessary, I can look at it. No, it's readable on my screen anyway there. Right, okay, so a steady pace, not too fast. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. So a last 4 bars of a first tune then. Yes, well that's the intro. I do need to go back to the beginning, however. I did it a row. Yes, well, I went wrong at exactly the same place as I did before for the same reason. I forgot to repeat that E, but I did it right second time through. Interesting. I did experiment with, particularly in the first tune where you've got repeated notes. Initially I was just using the same finger on those repeated B's and A's and G's, and in practice I think I probably still would. Second time through I actually alternated a bit. That was first finger, second finger, first finger, second finger on each of those, but I don't think you hear it at that speed, certainly. There are times when alternating fingers is good, particularly where there's 3 in a row. So maybe it's the next one where we're doing Good Ship Sirius. I think that is worth doing. So on those 3 G's in a row, I'm doing first, second, first. It's just you can alternate fingers faster than you can take a finger off and put it back on the same button. Right, let's try the whole thing a little bit faster than we did originally and see what happens. So we want to do it at speed. We could do the Moon and Seven Stars, which is quite fast. The other thing, of course, is Moon and Seven Stars is in D rather than G, so you've got to remember to add in your C sharps as you go along. So that's the speed we want. Yes, well, we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, some intro of 4 bars, then in from the beginning. having said I always played that up and down thing smoothly. For some reason, the last time through I changed bellows direction in the middle, so maybe I just got a bit short of air. I think it's still better smooth. I think I'll try and keep that in the same bellows direction. Right, so I think that's. Let me just stop sharing and see what's happening out there. So did that make sense? Were you playing along at that speed? Was it too fast, too slow, boring? No. Thumbs up in general there. Right. Okay. So thumbs down from 1013312. Was it too fast at the end? Was that the problem? Yeah. I mean, intentionally, I'm trying to ramp the speed up as we go through it, and there will be things. We all started at the thing where you could only play tunes slowly, but the only way to improve really is to start slowly and work your way up. And if it falls apart, then you stop and you do it again later, or try it again next week. There will be a video of this. This is being recorded. So you can always come back in and have another try against the thing when you had a little practice separately. Right, okay, let's go back to music. So that was the Celestial Jigs that should have warmed your fingers up. So this is Albert Farmer's Bonfire tune, probably quite appropriate for the time of year almost. I mean, we're getting towards November the 5th. So this is the top line from my session tune book, and I've added in a beat and harmony line from a group called the Rude Mechanicals, who provide parts for quite a lot of tunes, but I think whoever plays the accompaniment, I think in some cases it's a melodeon and in some cases it's a fiddle, and they like lots of notes. So the harmony things quite often have more notes than the tune, which is the case on this. Anyway, let's initially just play the tune. It's a nice tune of its own right. That's the tune. Right, so I'm going to play the whole of a second line and then come in from the beginning. So it's quite a well-behaved tune in general. The only sort of slightly more difficult bit is the last two bars of the third line. And again, you know, if I have difficulty with a bit, that's all I do. Is I just loop around a couple of bars until they work. So let's just do that top line again, just fractionally faster, and then we'll come back and do the bottom line a bit more slowly, and then speed that up. So. Right, so the accompaniment part. It's not fundamentally harder than the tune. It has a few more notes in it, but on the whole they're either scales or arpeggios. So once you've started on them, the extra notes just sort of fill in. But the beginning of the second part. Oh no, not like that. Let's do that again. Well, I'm getting myself on the wrong row. Right, definitely this is wrong. Yeah, that's the problem. I'm not moving my fingers down far enough. On an English, it's the common mistake is being on the wrong row, and the trouble there is you've just done that long arpeggio that's gone. So your fingers are a long way up the keyboard, and you've now got to get your bottom finger right down to that E. Not down to the A, but down to the E. That's the note you're trying to hit, the E. And so that's the hardest transition that I found in this tune. Etc. Right, let's go from the beginning. Let's do it fairly slowly, slower than that. So I'm doing 1, 2, 1, 2 sort of timing. So I'm just going to type, here's the last 2 bars of an A part then. Is that, no, I don't mean that, am I going half the speed? One, 2, 3, 4 is what I'm doing, isn't it? All right. Yeah, well, doesn't make sense, does it? Right, here's the whole of the second line, red notes. No, I'm in D, C sharps. Too much wine at lunchtime, I think. Yeah. Repeat. Yes, it's not at all easy, this one. I should have practiced it more. I'll do it again at the same sort of speed. If you're happy playing along with it there, do, but of course I can't hear you, so you quite feel at home if you want to play the tune against it instead. But I think it'd be useful if we could learn to play the second part. Right, so yes, well, we'll see. So that's the speed it needs to go at. So I'm going to play it through twice. Initial time I'll play the melody, the black notes, and then when I get to the end I will switch and play the red notes. So it's up to you whether you want to play along with me or play against me. Here, if you can do either. So I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3 and come in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. Change. Yes, well, I did reasonably well. There was one point where I got a row out. I was playing a fifth higher, but at least it is a fifth and it harmonises quite well with what everyone else is playing. Should we do, well, tell you what we could try doing now. So John has carefully recorded things with both parts in. I have a feeling even the slowest one is slightly faster than we were doing there. Let me find Albert Farmer's 112. Not a lot faster. Right, so let me share these for a minute. Let me just stop sharing and reshare so you get the music and the sound, hopefully. What am I doing? Share screen. I want to share the music and the media player. And I have share sound clicked on. So now if I bring this one back, no, it's gone away again. Right, so there's no lead into this. How long? So I will count this in I'll press the button and count 1, 2, 3, 4, and it'll start. So are you ready to play? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get it again. Right, so did that work?
I don't think we should try the fast one, Paul.
You think we ought to try the fast one?
I don't think we should.
You don't think we ought to try the fast one? No. Well, as I say, on the whole, they are scales and arpeggios. So once you've got your fingers doing the same pattern, it's not too difficult to speed it up. But I think that's probably fast enough for this time through. You could try putting it back in the practice session for a future session, perhaps. So was anybody failing miserably at that speed? Most people were so I've got this sort of hand signals on that one. Do you want to do that once more? No. Ross says no. Right, okay, we'll move on to the next one. I don't know if the next one's any easier actually, but at least it'll be a bit different. Right, okay, so let me go back to sharing. Right, so we'll get rid of Albert Farmer's. So the next one is Miss Thompson's. Now, Miss Thompson's is interesting because this version that John's provided is out of the Piper's Companion books, Rossley Music's one, Derek Hobbs. He does very nice accompaniments generally, but this is a hornpipe, and if I was typesetting this, I would not do it as dotted quaver, semiquaver, dotted quaver, semiquaver. I would do it as pairs of quavers and rely on swinging it with about a 3-2 thing. Because as it's written at the moment, the first of these is 3 times as long as the next one. And if I get the computer to play it to you, it's remarkably, it's not how a human would play it. Well, out of interest, let me just do that. Let me find the. Oops, where are we going? I need to get rid of that. So let's try Miss Thompson's. So stop there a minute. So let me put them up for a minute. So that's that and that. Right, so you've got the thing on the screen. Let's get rid of those. So just for a feel, this is how the computer plays it.
1, 2, 3.
Or John
4,
counts it in.
1, 2, 3.
Right, I'm stopping it there because I think we need to work our way into that. But I think I would prefer to play it more as we would a hornpipe that was swung somewhere between, about 3 to 2 rather than 3 to 1 in the swingingness. So let's for the moment while let's just look at the sections here for a minute. So the other thing is that the Piper's Companion version, this one, is in the key of C. If you're in my tune book, it's in D. So I think I'm going to put it into the parts tune book for the next edition in the key of D, using this accompaniment, but straightening it out and just relying on hornpipe swinging to provide the sound we want. So anyway,
Paul, you may need to change some of the notes because I think it uses different chords if you transpose them.
Yeah, well, if you know that, we can. Anyway, we'll see. I did actually try it at last night's session at the ferryboat with Clive Quick, and it didn't seem to clash too badly with whoever was playing rhythm chords. But anyway, I agree. It's always dangerous if I take my melody line and my chords and put it with someone else's accompaniment, because they may have other chords in mind when they're doing it. Right, so in C, no sharps or flat. Right, so you're going to get a last 2 bars of an A part as intro. We're just going to do the A part initially. Right, so. I'll stop there a minute. That's the A part, and the B part. And B part again. And one more. Yes, I think the B part's harder than the A part, which is the reason why I did it. I practiced it rather more. So let's look now at the lower line. I don't think this. It probably does have more notes than the top line, but not by very much. It's reasonably well behaved. So let's do the A part again. I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3 and come in. 1, 2, 3. No, sorry, that's wrong. It doesn't do that at all. So I'm doing 2 bars back. It actually did do what I played. I'd just got my eyes on the wrong line, hadn't I? Right, from the beginning again, of playing the lower line from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it's the only bar that throws me slightly is the first bar of the second line. No, that's wrong. Let's make me do it. There's nothing particularly wrong with it. It just didn't quite where my fingers expected. And again, play it a few times. If you like me, you've gone astray there. Let's just try the second half. So I'm going to do the last 2 bars, the previous thing, and going into the B part. Yeah, we're in C, aren't we? Nah. Yes, it's the B part's harder than the A part. Same thing again, starting at the beginning of the line and going to the B part. What am I doing wrong here? Yes, the right. Let's try that. See if that works any better. The stave lines were a bit odd as we were doing that there. Right. Yes. So. Right, okay, we'll try this again. From the beginning of playing the whole of the second line for the B part, starting 2 bars before. Yeah, I think that was more or less right. It's yeah, it corresponds with the place where there's that B flat on the top line. It's a change of key effectively happening in the tune. You know, all your chords up to that point have been C and G, and suddenly you're in F. So it's gone into the subdominant of the key you're in. In the key of C, the dominant chord is G, the subdominant is F, the chord a fourth up, and so it's gone off into, for 1 bar, into the subdominant to give a bit of variety, and it, as a result, the notes that are being played change a bit. So let's just do the same thing again as I just did there and see if we can do it again right. Right, let me just find my thing here if I want to refer to it. Let's see if we can get this on the screen sensibly. That's the whole of it, isn't it? It's a little bit small, but perfectly formed. Right, so I'll do what I did before, hopefully, which is play the tune through right to the bottom and then switch over and play the accompaniment through right to the bottom. So I'm going to, you will keep it at that same steady pace. So I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3 and come in. 1, 2, 3. change. Well, was that working? Were you all right at that pace? This could be interesting, therefore, because what I'm going to do now is try John's Miss Thompson, which is not ridiculously fast, but it's faster than we might be doing, I think. So I want this one. Miss Thompson's at 90 as opposed to 110.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so you count you in with two bars worth. So I need to share screen, share media player, and share tune. Right, have a go at this one then.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
You get another chance. Well, we could try that was actually not appreciably faster than I was playing it. I think a very similar pace. We could try the faster one, or we could move on to something else. Would people like to do the faster one? No, there's shaking of heads, I think, at that point. So I think we'll put this back on the time thing for another time, so people can have a practice in the meantime, and then we'll see if we can do it a bit faster. We might try putting it into D and straightening it out as well, just to add a bit of confusion to it. Right, so let's move on.
Well, I think that the second line there is quite a nice tune in its own right.
It is.
It's a Derek Hobbs feature, I think.
Yeah, I like his accompaniments. He's really good at having second lines that have merit in their own right, as well as harmonising nicely. Right. Right. I mean, just out of interest, wait a minute. Let me just. What was I doing? I was doing. I'm just finding something for a minute. Yeah, that would do. So just as I'm not particularly suggesting that we play this at the moment, but this is my rendering of the same tune put into D and with the dottedness taken out. But I mean, you still play. Etc. Anyway, so I might suggest that we have a go at that as a candidate when somebody's checked the chords against the notes. Right, so that's a slight red herring there, but so I suppose I could have stayed there, couldn't I? Really? Let's get rid of that. Go away. Hide that. Right. Get rid of that. No, Miss Thompson's. That's what we've just done. Right. So the next thing on the list is well, of course, the next thing on the list is the guest spot. We'd love for you to share anything that you've been practicing and. Anybody got anything to offer? Somebody must have been trying something over the last few weeks. No takers. We do some. Liz has raised her hand. Are you going to unmute? Or do you want me to unmute you? I'll unmute you. Oh, sorry. Right, you're unmuted.
Okay. Well, if no one wants to play, I'll have a go at Salmon Tales.
All right. Okay.
From your book, so.
All right. Well, shall I put? I could put that up on the screen really here for the moment if you're going to do it.
So I put original sound on.
Right. I've got to. Oh, what have I done now? Sorry, I've just done something a bit strange. There'll be a little pause while I get up to SA. There we go. Salmon tails up the water. Right, so it's there. So do you want to have a go?
Okay. I'll play it twice through.
Right.
So I'm getting an echo, I don't know.
Oh, sorry, let me mute myself.
Okay. can't hear you, Paul.
So I'll say that again. Excellent. Thank you very much. It's nice to have somebody else play.
Sorry about the F natural at one point.
Yes, there was an interesting variation on one bar, wasn't there? Yes. Right, so while we're in this thing, the theme for the next few things is single part tunes that are all Morris tunes from the Bledington Morris side. Morris has sides, doesn't it, rather than teams. So what do we want? Idbury Hill, I, H, E, F, G, H, I, Id. There must be easier ways of doing this than this. Oh, missed it. Idbury Hill, page 70. Oh, there it is. London Pride. Right. So, this is it's a minorish thing. The first half, both halves repeat, but the first half's only half the length of the other one. Etc. That's the sort of feel for it. So what I'll do is I'll play the whole of an A part once, and then you come in and do the A part twice more, and on to the B part. And I think we could do it through once a bit faster than that. How fast can we send it? Yeah, that'll do. Right, the last 4 bars coming up. minorish tune. Next one is Lumps of Plum Pudding, which is a lumpy sort of tune, really. L-M-N. L-L. Must be somewhere near it here. Lumps of Plum Pudding. Right, so this is in some ways a typical Morris jig with slows in it. So the C section is really very similar to the A section, but slowed down to half the pace, so the dancers have time to leap into the air. Etc. That's the A part. At the top where it says jig, on the next line it says A, B, C, B, C, B. So there's an A by itself to start with, the first part, which is actually, I think, is probably the musicians playing by themselves without the dancers to set the pace for the whole tune. And then the dance is an A and a B, and then a C and a B, and a C and a B. So remember the A has gone. The C part goes. So it's in essence very similar tune, but longer. Twice as long, basically. Right, we'll try and do this as I'll try and call out which part's going to happen next. I don't know. Right, so I'm going to do just 2 bars of an A, and then I think everybody could then come in and do A, and then do A and B, and then do C and B, and then do C and B. Right, so you got to start off by doing 2 A's effectively. A. B. C. B. C. B. Yeah, so if you kept up with that, you're fully qualified to be a musician for a Morris dance side. Though I suspect for the real dance you might well have to do it more times than just it wouldn't surprise me if it was actually 4 lots of. I mean, there are ones with two slows, but most of them have more than 2 slows in it. Right, William and Nancy. William and Nancy Bledington. Right, well, the thing for this one's even more complex, so I don't know whether we're going to stick to this. If you look at the instrument, it says there's an A, again for the musicians to set the pace, and note that the A has a repeat in it, so you do play the repeat as a single A. So this is an A, and then it has an A followed by a B, and it does that twice. So it goes A, A, B, A, B, and it then does A, C, A, C, and it finishes with an A. Well, I could play through that. I don't think we want to do this more than once if we're doing it this little thing. Yeah. So I'm going to do it at that pace, and we'll see what happens. So here's just the 2 bars just to set the thing. Then I'm going to come in and do A, B, A, B. 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 C. A to finish. Yeah, well, that's a tune and a half, isn't it? If you manage to keep going through that. Right, I think that's probably the only one with as many parts as that one. Young Collins is rather more straightforward. VW Young Collins. We just have an A, short A and a long B again. Right, so we'll just cycle around this a bit. The last two bars of an A part. Try it a bit faster. I think it's a simple tune and most people will know it. So last two bars of an A part. Right, and the final one was one that's not in, well, there is a Flowers of Edinburgh in my tune book, but this is the Bloodington variant, which is slightly different. It's not very different. And we have some instructions here that say you start with half an A and you then do 4 lots of A, B, and you finish with an A. Well, we'll see. So I'm going to do the half A, which is literally, it says half of an A, the last half of an A part as the intro, and then you can come in and do A, B, A, B, A, B. We may or may not do it 4 times, but we're going to finish off with an A, but I will signal where we want to stop. So half an A coming as intro. B. A. B. Last time. B. One more A. Well, I think the dancers are exhausted by this point. So that's the end of the themey bit. I'm just trying to get to my next piece of. So the remaining thing in the formal program is high lily high low, which we'd have a go at. We've only got a quarter of an hour really, but that's probably right. So this is yeah. Well, I might for the moment just. I'm just trying to get this fitting the screen sensibly. Oh, what have I done now? Yes, well, right, so that's got the whole thing on, but only just. It is on. Scale. Excuse me while I have a slurp of coffee. So the advantage to this is that it's slow. The disadvantage is that it's in F, so it has B flats. That's your B flat, and later on you get you get some B flats, particularly in the second part. You get some bottom B flats, which are fun to remember to do. So let's play the tune first. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, and we're coming in. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. Scissor. I keep doing that wrong. We'll come back to that. Yeah, so sorry for me messing up the middle of the second system. That's how it's meant to be. For some reason because when you've had that rising sequence, in the first line you've had exactly this, you've had that rising three crotchets, but it's been followed by a dotted minim, 3 whole beats very often. But in this one case, it isn't. It goes, and I forgot it. I missed it. I got it wrong both times. But anyway, right. Let's just have a look at the second part. It's got a few more notes in it, but not an awful lot. But it is low as well, so it depends how well you know the lower half of your instrument. Right, so I'll count it in 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, and let's have a go at the. And of course, I can't hear you, so if you want to play the tune against it, it's perfectly acceptable. 1, what do I want? 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Oops. Ah. Yes, something like that. So we haven't got long, so I think it is worth trying it against the computer at this point. So if I just stop sharing that for a moment and I come back and I share, well, I first need to find music, don't I? We don't want that one. We want oh, no we don't. Wrong thing. High, low, high, low, high, low, 3 parts baritone. 3 parts. Right, so we have a High Lily recording, which we will play along with the music. Right, so share screen, music and media. I'm just trying to get it so that I can see everything on the screen. I think that's probably all right. Right, so I think this has an intro. We'll see. I'm going to press the button and see what happens. It obviously doesn't have an intro. Let me do that again. So you're coming in from the beginning. Right. So I'm going to press the button and say 1, 2, 3, and you might come in at any point in that. 1, 2, 3. Rather abrupt ending there, wasn't it? It's oh yes. Now that I've looked at the music, it was a staccato chord. So I'd played it wrong when I'd held it for its duration. No. Right. So how's time? Oh, it's pretty well timed, isn't it?
Paul, can I just say that we've also got a well, it's called a 4-part version of that, but the second line is an octave up, which might be a lot easier for people to play. And there's also a line with a few harmonies. So I don't know if there's any interest in playing that on a future, either next time or on a future occasion.
Possibly. It's a nice tune, and it does force us to play in one flat. I think it's actually quite good to get people to play down at the bottom of the instrument. So I wouldn't necessarily put it up by an octave just to get it in the middle of it, given that we're all playing instruments that I think cover that range. It's a bit different if you've got a mixed group with flutes in it. They wouldn't like reading that at all. But, so anyway, that's basically time, 3:57 and 30 seconds. So thank you, John, for arranging that. It was a bit of a challenge for me, but I think it came out all right in the end. And as I say, it is recorded. I will make it available. So if there were bits you struggled with, you can go back and have another try about them afterwards. So any other announcements, John?
No, only a reminder, the next Zoom session is on the 9th of November. So remember. We've got a Malden session on the 19th of this month. What's that? A couple of weeks' time. But we won't be able to Zoom that as Paul's not there. But all the music and MP3s to play along to is on the website. So if anybody does want to try some of those tunes but can't make Malden, then they're more than welcome.
Yeah, and if anybody has favourite tunes they would like to suggest that we have a go at, particularly if they're two-part ones, we'd be interested to know, because otherwise John will keep dreaming up things for us to do.
What I will do, we go back a few years now. I can revisit stuff from a year or two back and hope people's memories aren't.
What do you hope that people have remembered them or haven't?
Well, I hope they haven't remembered that they didn't like them. That's all.
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. With that, I declare the session closed. So, bye.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for handling the curveball that I sent you with all those dodgy tunes.
Luckily, I sometimes I leave it till 2 days before or something. But this one I looked at a week ago and I thought, I'd better have a try.
I should have warned you when I started practicing. I thought this is going to take a little bit of effort.
Yeah, they weren't impossible, but it certainly helped to play them, go away for a day, come back, play them again. It's amazing how your brain, picks up tunes better that way than going through them many times on the same day. Okay, bye.